Hey, my name's Jack, and this is how to wax a snowboard. What you're going to need to wax your snowboard is an iron. Any iron will do, but the best ones are the ones that you can get at your local shop, and that you can usually tell. This one's a digital one, so it's got like, it just works really well. You'll need a screwdriver to unscrew your bindings out of your board, because if you leave them in there, your base will get sucked up into like because of the pressure of the screws. You don't want that. You need some wax. There's a lot of different types you can get, and it's got temperatures on it, so you just know. You want to get it for the right temperature that you live in. Then you'll need a scraper. That's important. Scrape the wax. You'll need some kind of cleaner or Windex or something, and some paper towels. That'll clean your board off before you put the wax on, so that's going to adhere to. And you'll need a snowboard that needs to be waxed. So that's what you'll need to wax your snowboard. So now what you're going to need to do is you're going to put your board face down on a surface. Any surface is good, I guess. It just has to be a surface you don't really care about. It doesn't matter, but just in case, I guess. Nothing would happen, but just don't do it on your nicest table in the house, because I feel like it's just kind of stupid to do. It's got wax all over the place, but you can get it off. It's just, might as well not do it on a nice table. Anyways, so then you can get your like cleaner, whatever, anything that's kind of like clean stuff. Just gonna spray it around. This will help give the wax, because you don't want your wax sticking to all the dirt that's underneath there and all the dirty stuff. You want it sticking to the actual base. And so if you just let it just kind of go on there, all it's going to stick to is the dirt and grime that's just kind of loosely in there, and then it's just going to come off. All your wax will just come off. It'll be a waste of wax. You'll be frustrated. It's not good. I mean, this is a really new board, but there's already some dirt on there, and that's good. That you want to see that. If it's a really new board like this, if you don't see any dirt or any grime, that's okay, because it doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be any, but just want to make sure. And then just make sure you get all of it off, and just really scrub down in there. You don't want to leave any of the Windex on, or cleaner, or whatever you want to use. And you'll notice that it gets a lot cleaner. If you have white dry marks on your board, that you usually want to wax it when you have little dry marks that are white, because that means it's dry. And when you're cleaning it, you'll notice those white spots will go away. Then you know you're doing a pretty good job of that. And then just do it a few more times in areas that you think need it. Like I've seen some dirt streaks right here that shouldn't be there, so kind of get those out. I think that's actually a mark from a rail. I don't think that's going to come out. So. Oh no, it's coming out. Alright, so then you're just going to get all that off. You'll be ready to go to the next step. Alright, so now what you want to do is going to heat up your iron. So the wax that I have says you're supposed to have it at 275 degrees Fahrenheit or 135 degrees Celsius. So that's where you want it when you're using the wax. So with this digital one, you can custom set where you want it to heat up and stop heating up. I'm sure you can do that with most irons. And then, so I'm just going to bring it to 135, just like that. And so now it's going to be preheating to that. However, and you always want to make sure that your iron is not smoking, because if it's smoking, then it's too hot and you're just going to burn right through your snowboard, and that's not good, and it's not going to work with the wax. You just don't want that. So just make sure you get at the temperature of the what it tells you to do on the package of the wax. And this is in Celsius, so that's why it's only at 135. So this digital iron measures in Celsius. However, some irons might go in Fahrenheit. It just depends on the iron. Alright, so now that you've gotten all the stuff off your board with the Windex, Now it's time to put the wax on. So you take out your bar of wax, and we've got our preheated iron now. And what you're going to do is you're going to press it on there, and you're going to notice it's going to start to melt. It's going to start dribbling down onto your board like that. And just going to cover your board in little droplets of it. Just cover it in there. And then once you've surrounded your board with little droplets, then you'll be ready for the next step. So you're just going to evenly spread these around as well as you can. They don't have to be like touching each other exactly all the way because that's just a waste of wax. But you'll spread it around evenly when you're done. Because you have to scrape it off anyway, so you don't want to use too much. But you just do that. Basically, you want it to look like that throughout your whole board. Alright, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your iron, which is still on, hopefully. If not, reheat it. And then, so then you're going to just kind of put it on your board, and you're going to want to melt all this wax and evenly disperse it. You're just going to bring it around, and don't keep it in one spot too long, because too hot, too long will make your board, it'll melt your board's base, so you don't want to go too deep. So just keep the iron moving, and move it in little circles while you're melting these little dots, because it'll dry fast. I mean, it dries in like 3 seconds. So you're gonna want to move it around quickly and keep the iron on those melted parts of wax, but keep it moving. That way you can spread it across evenly throughout your board rather than just dots, because that's not going to do much good. And so it should look like this, and you'll see it dry, and it'll be kind of like mine's kind of a bluish color when it dries. You should see every part of your board look bluish like that, and kind of uneven and weird and waxy looking. And then basically once you've covered your entire board like that evenly, you're ready to go on to the next step. Well, now you're just going to let your board sit for around 20 minutes to let it really soak in. Alright, so now what you want to do is, after you've waited 20 minutes, it should all be dry. Now it's time to scrape it all off. So, you're going to get your little scraper here. Scraper. And you're going to just kind of scrape it all off. So, just press down. Equal pressure. You'll notice all this wax starting to come off. That's what you want to see. So basically you're just going to scrape this whole thing, all of it off until once you've started scraping and no more wax comes off when you're scraping, no matter how hard you push down, that means you're good to go. And then I like to just scrape my fingernail down it when I'm done, and if wax comes out in my fingernail, that means it's not ready to be done scraping. So I'm going to go ahead and do this.